Like, keep it 1,000. Like, up until 2020, Music BC never gave black artists grants.
Wow.
They weren't giving it. If people of color were not getting grants at all, until that cop put that knee on Jordan Ford's neck, they weren't giving niggas no money. Babylon or Napoleus? Babylon is the government. Babylon is any oppressive force, any oppressive government force at all. So that could be to create a space for black art in the city is very hard because A, we don't have a space of our own in the city for us either. Yeah. Right? We don't have there's no African community center. Like I said, there's no Caribbean community center. Yeah. There's none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? It's just weird because after all this time they should have hell, Hogan's Alley should have a community center dedicated to black Canadians, but they don't. Mm. And Bomba and Blood Clot, all those things are just I'm just trying to say the F word. Okay. I'm saying the F word, it just sounds better because it got some sauce on it. You know what I mean? And there's different tones. You gotta say with different tones. Like Bomba Clots. Bomba Clot. You know what I mean? Like the tones sense. I'm gonna talk some shit right now, so I'm gonna put on these glasses. So a couple weeks ago, I was promoting this event on my IG for like this contest for best performance at Enzo Club, right? Yeah. The prize was supposed to be $2,000, right? The madam who ran this event didn't promote it at all. Oh no. They didn't promote it at all. And then on top of that, because I was promoting it, I had other artists that I knew also get in on the contest. So like I was like indirectly responsible for them getting on the same bill. And then 2 hours before the show, this man wants to text us all individually and tell us there is no prize money.
What's going on, Afro Diaspora Nation? What's up? We're back with another sensational episode. Man, I'll tell you guys, today we have a show for everybody. This is just something I gotta just announce it out real quick so you guys can be ready. Before even clicking the video, go ahead, subscribe to the channel right now, because the guest of tonight is the reason why you need to be subscribing, because we're gonna bring a lot more fire than this. You know what I'm saying? So what's up? Here he is, but before everything else, you know the drill. We're going to the hot list of the week. Major, talk to me. What's up, BK? Man?
Hi, everyone.
What's up?
So this week, we're not going to go very far. Before I introduce the books, because people know about the books already. Yep. There's this song that I dropped this week called Take It All. Take It All.
Let's go.
Jeez.
I've been loving it. I've been listening to that song repeating over and over.
I really thank everybody who's already reaching out to me, to congratulate and giving me their opinions.
Absolutely.
It's a very good thing. Absolutely. And we have a lot coming. There are music videos that we're working on. Mm-hmm. First of all, Take It All music video. That is our song. The song we did together.
Carried Away
is going to be very soon. I'm just polishing the last thing. You saw the stuff we're doing there in the background.
Oh yes. So make sure you guys stay ready for this one. We've been trying to release this song for a while, this video.
Yeah. But just to let people know that, we're doing everything here. Yeah. So sometimes it can take time for us to make final decisions.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we're going to be talking about tonight with our guest. Yes. He's going to let you know how you polish that, that product before you release it. It's not just about releasing.
No. And you need to learn today. Today, I think is the day you got to learn from a right guy telling you this thing. Yeah. He's been through it.
Yeah. It's not going to be those questions we ask to people and they're like, no. We're going to the deal, the real one.
And you will be entertained. Yeah. Trust me on that.
Yes, sir.
Cool. And then Forever is still out there. You got to watch that by my friend, Baraka.
Yes, featuring Savannah. Yeah. Forever, man, it's popping. It's popping. The audio's good, but We are also working on the music video behind the scenes. So
the music video, it's going to be a surprise too.
It's going to be a surprise, man. Shout out to the team behind it, man. Oh, man. You know exactly who you are already. I'm never going to say anything else.
Let's keep it as a secret.
As a secret. Because dropping that video is going to be a lot more. We need everybody to tune in once the video drops because it's a very good project.
Yeah. Also, check out Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle. There's a music video that is out there by Kyle. Hit or run.
Yeah.
So it's either you hit or you just run.
The thing about that video, man, which I'm gonna give shout out to OC for just keeping such a secret because this man tells me everything, and I got a little upset the fact that he didn't tell me about that video. But when he came out, man, I was shocked. I was surprised because I had no idea Kyle has something like that, man. So hit or miss. That's the title.
It's hit or miss. Not run.
Not run. You can't run. You either hit or you miss. That's what it is.
Cool.
Hit or miss is available on all platforms now.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
What a banger. What a banger, man. Shout out to OC Kyle for this amazing project. You guys definitely got me on that one for sure, man. I was shaking when I saw that video. Clean, beautiful project. Kyle, I'm expecting more. Now you in the game. You can't miss now. You gotta keep going at it.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to hot list. You know, you have a lot of songs coming out. I'm even tired of you now. It's a lot of songs that we're working on. But again, we got these books. Number one talks about mortgages. You know, you are going to be a musician. You're going to be a business person, but you still need a home for you to sleep. You know, so master your mortgage. This is the book. Find it on Amazon, everywhere you go. And then also we got Heal on Your Term.
Absolutely.
This is for those people who got, went through some problems in life.
Yes.
You know, everything that you think that affected you and tried to bring you down. This is the book.
Rasi. Shout out to Rasi. Once again.
That's not that. Yeah, that's for Rasi.
That's for Rasi, I can't forget that name.
So it's not going to be Rasi, right?
No, Rasi, no. Rasi, she made me make sure I learned that name in the hard way.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I think that's what we have.
That's the hot list of the week, guys. So stay tuned for amazing projects coming up. And do not forget to continue subscribing to Afro Diaspora Podcast on YouTube.
Before you finish, Gary Makonga is still the best car dealer in town. Please.
I've actually talked to Gary.
You spoke to Gary? I spoke
to Gary, and hopefully I can get some good one from him when the time is right. When I'm trying
people
to
are really
make some deal.
Doing things in this town.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course, man.
We are trying to move forward at least.
Even through the difficult, things we're going right now. The price is just everywhere, man. But shout out to Gary for just making sure everybody feels happy.
Reach out to us very soon. We'll have business card for him and everything.
Yeah,
and then we'll see what to do next.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's move on.
Continue to subscribe to the channel, man. Let's grow the family, and also follow OC Music on Instagram, where he will be posting all the clips and the information about the show of the tonight and all that. So follow OC Music on Instagram to get all the information. But now, the good time of the day, man. I wish I had a drum roll here because we need that drum roll. There you go. We need that drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you one of the most talented. I've just spoke to him like a few minutes, like 20 minutes, and I already see that this guy, he really put on the work that he does. And people who put on work like this, I just a lot more respect for them, man. So the rapper, he's a rapper, Jamaican rapper, man. He's been doing music for over.
Jamaican and Canadian.
No, just Jamaican. I just live here. That's different. I just live here.
I
live here.
You already got started already. Ladies and gentlemen, GRIZZY, Winter, man. Welcome to the show, my guy.
Welcome, much love. Thank you, guys.
You got a lot of stuff going on, man. I was gonna go through the whole thing.
I know. I'll let you go for it. I'm not gonna.
No, but we gonna let you talk about that because you deserve that, man.
Okay, no, I respect. You know what I mean? I've been a music artist in Canada for 8 years, mostly based out of Vancouver. I've had one of my last accomplishments. My last project, Illuminate, did over 100,000 on Spotify.
That's crazy, man.
Thanks to like a good marketing fucking thing I was able to get with some other people and like a bunch of playlist things. I was able to go to LA back in 2021. I won an award for best international artist for a startup company that was setting it up. Shout out Binge TV Awards. I also got nominated for Record of the Year in New York for that same album, Illuminate, with the Wavies. I've collabed with like so many different artists from around here, artists from overseas. I performed at like pretty much every club in the city at this point. I've also like performed in like Toronto. And
the CV is full.
Oh my god!
In LA,
you know what I mean? My songs come on, look, come on, man.
No, you know what I mean. I've been around. I've done things. You know what I mean. I've also like tried to like help manage other artists and like help build people up. I also just like giving people free game because I think like there's not enough people who's like willing to like just help people out just because. You know what I mean? Like free game is free. Like management is costly. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like in this particular area, especially for black artists, like people should know what the situation is before they get into the game. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We're definitely gonna cover that up.
Yeah, 100%.
We need to cover that up. There's a lot of artists where when things get hard, I feel like some people just drop. You know, they're like, I can't do. You know what I'm saying? I got bigger things to do than this. But the passion you have, man, you gotta fight for it.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like it's. The thing for me is that like when I didn't have shit, when I was at like the worst place, all I had was like the ability to write and make songs. Like I would just like when like I was like broke, like you know what I mean? Like I couldn't get a penny off my name. Like I was still just writing songs, trying to get that emotion out because I didn't know how to do it. And like so I feel like for most people when they get into music, they have this like unrealistic expectation of how long it's going to take.
Exactly.
And like where they're going to get with it. And it's like, listen, like I'm just now with this new project I've been working on with my boy Wave, like the DMGDZ stuff, the Damaged Goods things. Like I just now feel like I've like kind of made my sound. Like 8-9 years in the game, I feel like I've just got to the point where like this is exactly how I want to sound. Right?
Oh, that's really good.
You know what I mean?
Really beautiful. Because like I said, some people, they know how they want to sound right from the beginning, but some people, if you really want to push it, you got to take time knowing where your zone is, where your category is, right?
Yeah, what you want to do.
What you want to do, because you got to be happy, first of all, before releasing. You talked about that.
Yeah, well,
before releasing a song, you got to make sure you're happy.
Exactly, and I'm going to take this off. The thing about it, too, is that, like, when you're, like, making and creating stuff, like, your mindset has to be in a good spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can making angry music is good. It's good to get it out. But if you're always cheese, no one wants to hear you yell into a mic for every song. You know what I mean? Like you can't, and then because your emotional state also dictates to how you treat your music.
Yeah.
If you're not in a good place and you just keep trying to release just because you think that's what people want of you, you're not gonna make good music. You're gonna make things that you think people want to hear, so making what you want to make.
Is that a punch for the people who are doing metal music? Screaming
No. I'm not even gonna hate. Like there's times where I'll listen to like some of that shit, like metal and like some of that punk stuff, because it's like when you're like you wanna like, especially with like. Listen, when you're like, because I box and thing too, right? So like when I'm hitting the bag, two things that like get me going when I'm like hitting the bag, it's like rock music and like sad R&B.
That's why I get you.
Sad R&B will get you, like, you know what I mean? I put on some sad Usher or something, and I'm just like, oh, you know what I mean? Just throwing shots.
Bro, I think we're gonna have a show
people
tonight.
mistaken that sometimes, like. They don't know what you're listening to get your groove going. You know?
No, yeah, I listen to everything. I don't listen to country, even though that's a weird thing that's happening right now. But I grew up listening to most things. Cause like my mom had she gave me a record collection, and like I have half of them hung up in my house. I still don't even have half of them stacked. And it's like most of it was reggae, and then there was like R&B and Sade, and then there was also like weird things like Phil Collins and New Kids on the Block and like other things. Like, my mom listened to so much different music. So like me growing up, like I heard all these different sounds. So like I never just got into one. Like I gravitated toward rap and hip hop and like dance hall and things, because like Jamaican, first of all, and then second of all, it was the music that I felt was made for me, because there's not in a space like in Vancouver, we don't even have a black community center. We don't have no community center. Everyone else got a blood clot community center around town except us. There's not an African one. There's not a Caribbean one. The only Caribbean one is like a small box.
We could have had one, man, but it's just things got out of hand, you know.
Yeah, racism.
Major, I know you got all of you're boiling up. I can see you boiling up.
I'm getting cooked.
GRIZZY,
Yeah.
Wow, man.
What you gotta say, Major?
GRIZZY.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Is
sir.
that an introduction, or we already into the thing?
Oh, I thought we were. I mean, you know what? Just go call it. I mean, listen. I'm not the kind of man that will like big myself up and be like, "Yo, I did X, Y, and Z." I just kind of want my personality and my work to speak for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People
Like,
gotta know who you are, man.
Yeah, like I'm cool with people knowing me for me being me instead of like me trying to like list off a list of my accomplishments and stuff like I'm trying to walk out with my junk hanging out. I'll be like, yo, look at me kind of thing. Like, just cooler, man. That's,
Man, I want to start off by, I honestly want to start with a question, Major.
Yeah. We have a culture in this show.
Yeah.
When we get there, because we represented the audience.
Yes, sir.
And you are there to educate them, to
Yes.
give them. I feel like you got all it takes for somebody to become a musician.
Yes.
100%.
Because if in 80 years you already establish your sound.
Yeah.
Because I know people who have been there for 15 years, but they're still struggling.
Yeah.
When you speak about your sound that you already made.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to ask that question, but I wanted to know, are you ready for the show tonight? Like, because we try to avoid to go personal, to take anything personal. We want to go free.
No, ask me whatever.
And also to give the truth, right, to the people. So my question is, when you talk about your sound, do you mean your voice? Or do you mean that the style of the music that you feel like, this is it?
I mean, like the style of the music. So, like, I know that I have a very distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, and like that. Thank God for puberty, because when I was a kid, like my cousin used to call me Chipmunk and that shit.
Are you really?
That shit would have never. I would have stuck. I would have been on rapping like Playboy Cardi or something. You know what I mean? But no, like for me, it's like the style of music. So like when I started like. Really, most of my stuff initially, when I started off, was very like trap inspired. So it was like the first mixtape was like a trap mixtape. The second mixtape was like a dark trap mixtape, and then like the last project, the Illuminate, the album was like I tried to step away from that and do more like R&B, like have more R&B elements in there.
That's sick.
And then like some boom bap stuff. There's like 2 or 3 trap songs. Wow. I even like sang on like a song or 2 or whatever. Wow. Like I just tried to do different things with that. Yeah. Wow. And I think the style I was trying to go for on that was just like, especially with that last project, it was like I had just taken like the events of my life up into the last 10 years, and then kind of like tried to make like a story out of it. Right? Like and I think that's kind of like how it started with this new thing I'm working on right now. It's a new album I'm working on now. It's like, okay, cool, I did that. And I'm like, I don't want to compare myself to Ye, but I admire Ye because none of his projects sound the same outside of the first 3. Yeah. Right? He always does something different, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. The first one was trap. Second one was dark trap. This one was more like R&B inspired, like classic hip hop, and this one's gonna definitely more like 80 like dance hall, UK drill, like EDM like cuts and sounds and stuff, like dope, something dope that I'm like very proud of, right? And
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, thank you. And and so like when I said I found my sound, is because it's like for me, not only just like doing most of my verses on an album in patois and like creating all the sounds with my boy Wade from scratch, it felt more genuine to me for where I was at. Right?
Patois is like a language, or
Jamaica's trying to make it the official language of Jamaica, because since we like officially like the English, are gone and everything, like they're trying to make Patois the official language of the island, because then for the last however long it's been English. But like, if you go to Jamaica, if you meet Jamaicans, even meet a yardie from Toronto, like nobody speaks English.
Well,
nobody speaks no English.
In Jamaica?
Nobody speaks no English. I bear 1-2 thing. Like you might have met a proper man that was like, oh,
but like, is it mixed with English, or is it just originally its language?
So initially, the Patois is basically because a lot of the people who settled in Jamaica were Irish.
Okay.
So that's why if you hear like an Irish person speak and a Jamaican speak, it sounds kind of the same.
Yeah.
And then like mix that with like the Africans they brought over for the slave trade, and then
it's a combination of all.
Yeah, and then the original, and then the maroon people who were there. Well, like the original people there were the Arawak people, the original indigenous people. Yeah. But the maroon people were the people who were like the closest thing to original Jamaicans we have. And then you take all those languages together, and that's how you get Patois, right?
Oh. Wow.
And the maroon people that still live in Jamaica, but they live in like basically like a segregated like part of Jamaica where only they live, and they only speak their kind of version of Patois. So like if you go to like Kingston Patois is different than Montego Bay Patois. Montego Bay Patois is different than country Patois, and then like everybody's got their own like sayings and things. It's like if you go to, it's like you go to any other country, there's like people who speak the proper way of speaking that language, and then people who speak on the street and same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's true. But so like so you've made music in Patois, like
this one, yeah. I dabbled with it before, not really, but like this one when we made the first song, like the main single was called Ends to Ends. We were like working on it, and Wave was just like, "Yo, what if you did it in like Patois?" And I was like, "Okay." So then he like starts playing.
That would be sauce, bro.
Yeah, and I was like, "Soon I was in there."
That's because I've listened to a lot of music. Yeah. It
sounded different. Like I rewrote the whole. Like I rewrote it, and I was like, I'm always again on the mic like, man, Wagwan man down pre on the corner, big body gun that killing in the corner. I'm like, oh my God, this is so hot. I was like, okay, so we're doing the whole album like this. Okay, got you. Okay, bet. So like after that, I was like, I want all my music from now on to kind of have this element in it. Because it's like, A, it brings me closer to where I'm from, and B, it feels more authentic to me to do it that way. So like if next time I want to like do a song, I can like learn to sing like, how like not Buju has that that reggae voice and like things like that, like I want to do something like that, and like keep like using using parts of my heritage or where I come from into my music now, instead of just rapping.
Exactly. No, but that's the thing though, because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because now this kind of music, you know what I'm saying, Afrobeat, now it's like lifting, it's boiling. Yeah. Like music, like from Pat, like it's like coming out strong now. People are seeing now. There's actually good stuff. Well, like, we're missing out.
Well, the thing is, I think too, is that what's happened with music is that people don't want low vibrational, angry shit anymore. Like we're all like, if we look at the world around us, everybody's struggling, right? Everybody's struggling. Everybody's like this close to broke. And if you're not this close to broke, you're in a lot of debt. You know what I mean?
Where's the book at? Where's the book?
Yo, read the book.
Show that book again, man.
Master your mortgage.
He knows, man.
I'm telling you. So what I started to notice was like, as most of y'all know, like hip hop stopped being number one over the last couple of years because everybody sounded the same and everybody's putting the same negative energy out there and like doing all this thing. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just make songs about like me struggling anymore. I don't want to just make songs about like or like how hard everything is. I want to have fun with my music again. I want to bring some more energy to it. I want to do something different. I don't just want to kind of repeat the same cycles of things that everybody else is doing all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, like this to me sounds like kind of where I want to be at with it, you know? And that's kind of where all this stuff came up, you know?
Man, that's no, because that's what I'm saying. It's really beautiful that you're even trying to start involving this thing, because that's you. Yeah. And I feel like you represent your country, you represent who you are. Yeah. More than anything, if you put in your music. Yeah. You know, because you feel like you're proud, you feel like this is where I belong, right? Yeah. And people will learn to accept that, you know, now people are seeing like, oh man, this music actually fire. Yeah. And everything just evolving right now, all multicultural music and just popping up now. Yes. So, but growing up, did you start music in
I started music here, yeah.
So, and you just moved here and then you just...
No, so I was born here. My mom moved here when I was a little kid, but we used to go back and forth from Jamaica up until my parents split up when I was like 6 or 7. And then like after that, I went back again when I was like 13, 14. And then after that, we spent a lot of time in the States, every summer in the States. And then I'd stay here. And then after that, like most of my friends after school, most of them were like Caribbean or African or whatever. So it was like I was never, and everybody in my family up until this point has been as Jamaican. So like I was never far away from where like my culture and stuff, right? So like I never felt like I was like, there's a lot of people who have that thing when they grow up, especially in a place like this, where like they feel so disconnected from where they come from. I didn't really have that. Cause it's like when I went to school, it was weird. I was like, okay, there's like 5 black kids in this whole school, and you know what I mean? And like I was only friends with like one of them, and I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But like when I was like go see my cousins and my uncles and I go hang with my friends outside of school, I didn't feel disconnected from the community, right? So I felt like I was like, oh, okay, like it's weird over here, but I hang out with y'all. It's just like I'm still around my people and stuff, right? And I get that can be really hard for a lot of people. And like growing up, if you're black growing up on the West Coast and stuff, it's a weird situation. Like I feel for you because you're trying to figure out like how do you fit in with your people and then fit in with the people outside of your people. You know,
exactly.
That's really good.
See, I want to build up this story slowly. You know, I have some questions that deeper into the music.
Got you.
But I wanted to start it off slowly. Maybe if you have something you can say.
No, I wanted to you know, I know the people are really waiting for the kind of music business thing. You know, because having somebody like GRIZZY on the show, it's a big thing for all of us. You know, we are learning. You know, 100%. We are really learning something here, and I think it's at a personal level, it's helping me too. 100%. So I want to know, to you, music. What does music business represent, just in general first?
The business itself. That's a good question.
Because it's kind of complicated, right?
Yeah. So the business. So the business itself is supposed to, in my personal opinion, it's supposed to help get the artist to a point where they can monetize their music, and so that becomes their number one career path, right? Ooh. And then everything else related to that is just supposed to provide you opportunities to help the artist elevate to a point where they are just an artist. That is their whole career path. They don't have to, you know what I'm saying? But the business itself can be it can be a couple things. It can be very helpful or it could be very destructive. Right? Because you have a lot of people who get into, first of all, I'm just gonna break this down. First of all, don't expect any easy wins. If you get an easy win in the beginning, you're probably you might have just hit the wall. You might just hit the wall and then that's it. Because it's like you get an easy win in the beginning and then you think that's how it's all gonna be, and it's like it doesn't work that way. It's almost better if you start off with like nobody really checking you out and you keep persevering through it. Yes. Because then you like understand it's like where it took you to get there and you appreciate it more.
And it shouldn't even hurt. It shouldn't hurt.
No, it shouldn't hurt.
Naturally, that's how it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, yeah. Like you start, you know what I mean? You gradually build up to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Second, I'd say like the most important thing is just know yourself. Right? So this is something I read a couple years ago, and I always say this, is like every 7 years we are completely different, molecules, cells, and all. Our bodies physically and emotionally and mentally change every 7 years. So 7 years ago, I was not the same person. 7 years from that, I was not the same person. 7 years from that, I was not the same person. So you are allowed to change and grow with your music, but know yourself throughout the change, right? So if you come in the game, start making a particular sound, and then are no longer in that environment or you're no longer in that situation, you shouldn't necessarily be making the same shit. Right? Because it's like, because you're not being honest with yourself and you're trying to recapture a moment that's no longer there. Right? So you have to know yourself being an artist and know how you want to present. You know what I mean? I'd say the third thing and one of the most important thing is just like, it's important to have a good team, but it's also important to like know that the team doesn't exist without you.
Cool. You are at the center of everything.
Yeah, because if you're the artist, you're the one who's creating the product that you then need people to help you with, right? So like your team is important, but they don't run you. If you don't want to do something, or if you don't feel like it's aligning with who you are or what your branding is or whatever, you don't have to do it, right? That's not. You don't have, like, the opinions of others when you're making your sound or making your music does not define what your music should be. That's you. You define what you want it to be. You know what spaces you want to go. You know what your demographic is. You'll learn that along the way. But a team is important because it'll help you, because every good artist needs somebody who's going to tell them when something's good and something's not good. The worst thing I see from a lot of people when they're starting out is they have a bunch of yes men around them.
Oh, that's true, man.
You know what I mean? Is you have people who are like bigging you up for like mediocre shit, and they're not telling you like it's not good, or not giving you like proper feedback and thing, and then you go out into the world and you think you're the man and thing, and you get on stage and you play this song, and then nobody moves. Nobody move. No,
my stuff was good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then for that person, it's like that can break them, you know, and then they don't want to do it no more, and they lose their interest and everything else. Like have people around you who are willing to tell you the truth. And that's what I mean by having a good team. People who will tell you, okay, this is a good song. I like this sound. I like this, whatever. I don't like this, whatever. Don't be scared to get feedback. The worst thing you could do in the art space is to not be willing to take criticism. And know what the difference between criticism is and somebody's hating on you. Someone's like, okay, I like this, but I could like, you know, I felt like if you did this better. To somebody who's like, yeah, that's all right. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's like, that's all right. I'm like, yo, you hating ass bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what that is. Somebody tells me the actual thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll keep that. I'll keep that in check for next time. So next time I do something, it's gonna sound. I'll make it sound better. So somebody just be like, you know what I mean?
That's a valid point you got there, because I know some people, you know, they deal with this kind of stuff where you're making music, but you're scared to tell the other person that maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe because you might feel like after you say these things, they're gonna be like, you know what, this guy doesn't like my music, man. You know, always like, what do you think I gotta change? What do you think I gotta change with that? Right?
Yeah.
But if like somebody gets mad, like an artist gets mad that you criticizing their music, do you think it's because they just know themselves what they're doing, or they just get mad based because they don't want to change anything from that?
I think a lot of ego comes, like there's a lot of ego comes in, especially like I don't really want to say this out loud, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Hey,
rappers have the worst egos, bro. Honest to God, like rappers have the worst egos, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, see, you tell a rapper that like they could change. You tell a rapper to change a bar because it doesn't sound right. They look at their face. Like, all right, fam, cool. You know, like listen, like
so true.
Some people they feel like because it's theirs and they put work in that it's perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nobody is perfect.
Exactly.
Right? You can go back and rewrite a verse. You can go back and redo a hook. You can go back. You can like, you don't even have to drop the song and go back and like change something because you want it to sound better. That's fine. Somebody gives you some constructive criticism. It's just because they want you to succeed. You know what I mean? If they react a ways to it, that's not on you. Because you're just trying to help them and be helpful, right? If you react to ways and I tell you like, hey, yo, like I like that thing, but I think you could turn that thing up a little bit. Yep. And you get all upset on me and whatever, you like puffing out your chest and you want to do. I'm like, yo, whatever, fam, do whatever you want. And then the song come out and no one like the song, I'd be like, oh, I guess you should turn it up a little bit,
But that's the thing what we talk about. We talk about this every time because when you see those, top artists, man, they performing the stage, big stage, sold out, sold arenas. Everything that goes behind the performances, it's something that they had to start before.
Of course,
there's a lot of things that goes in between that thing. People gotta have discussions. Some people gotta get mad. Yes. But at the end of the result is the show has to be good.
That's the thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like the show has to be good. So people need to know that. They need to know that it's just trying to make things better for everybody. The team, yourself as an artist.
Exactly.
Just to make things better. So the ego gotta be out of there for sure.
Oh, 100%.
You can't be like you work some people here, they gotta be, I don't wanna do that major.
No, so, when it comes to feedback, that's where you see the real person. Some people who ask you for feedback, but they're not ready to embrace it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to remind the people who are watching this right now is if you have your friend or your brother, those brothers who are doing rap right now, this is a good time to come and listen to a podcast. Because you're not just listening from somebody who's just a rapper, a successful rapper, but a manager. Somebody who works with the team. Somebody who can put a team for you together and then help you move forward. So this is a good time for you, not just to subscribe, but also to pick up a phone call. Call your brother who's a rapper or a friend who you think is trying to make it. This is a good time to listen to a show. This is what you pay for at a university. To go listen to a teacher. Now we brought you a teacher here.
Listen, I got into the management thing because I felt like the things I had learned to do myself would also help other people.
Yeah.
Because the system that, we're getting more into this later, but the system that's available here is very a one-track system. So if you don't fit into that mold of things,
that's it.
Then you're not gonna there's not gonna be a lot of opportunities for you. So I myself was like, I'm gonna figure out a way to do this outside of these people. Because if I didn't, then I was gonna keep trying to wait for somebody to come pick me up and save me and put me on and no, nigga, I don't want to do that. Because it's you have to.
I'm sorry, you're so real, which is very good, man.
No, I
I'm laughing because the thing you say it's so true, but it's also funny at the same time.
No, I appreciate it. No, it's just me though. Because it's there's not in this part of the country, there's not a lot of avenues for artists, especially black artists, right? And so you kind of have to. So when I started managing people, I was kind of okay, what did I do that can help them, and how do I want it to look, and what would I want, and how would I market, and do all that stuff for people, because at the end of the day, it's I want people to win. It's I've always been kind of more. This is kind of actually shout out to my therapist, but one thing I've been learning is I have a tendency to want people to win over me. Because I feel like their success is my success, but that also hinders me from putting myself ahead of times. So that's also something I've learned is just in learning of that, it's okay, now I understand why I'm so passionate about seeing other people do well. Because I attach myself to their success.
That's beautiful.
Right? And so it's I want people to do well as well. Right? And people can take that and leave that and just do whatever they want to do with that, but for me, it's helping another artist see some kind of success or see some kind of thing. That's cool. That's cool for me because it's okay, cool. I helped you get there. You know what I mean? We made something dope and people vibe with it and we can get you opportunities and thing and whatever. Right? So it's kind of how I got into that.
But that's exactly it though, because we were talking earlier about the music in Vancouver specifically. Yeah. It can be other cities as well, but in order to actually make it out, people gotta stick together. You know, you gotta be happy seeing somebody else doing good.
Yeah.
Rather than putting them down, because then now it's gonna be a little bit like vibes. And then how you gonna grow from that?
Yeah. Well, the problem with this, the problem with this specific market, because Vancouver is a market, right? Every city is a market, especially when you're an artist. Is that this market does not support Black art, or does not support Black art from Black people. Which, so like, you know, you can.
The real truth is there.
You know what I'm saying, like, because there's a lot of successful rappers out here, but there's none of them really look like us. And the ones that were big up when I was like coming up were like the Rascals and like Swollen Members, and I'm like, they had to go to like Toronto or like to LA to get those kind of looks. Whereas like from here, they don't really support Black art unless they fit into like certain categories of things, right? And and honestly, it's frustrating. It's hella frustrating because it's like, because there's so many people I've met from here who are so talented. So talented. They I don't understand how they don't have more attention brought to them based on talent alone. But it's because of how the city responds, and it's how the people who run the music industry here and how the city works here, that they don't really want to give those people opportunities because they don't fit a certain like cookie cutter mold. And honestly, people used to think that was like a hindrance, but now thanks to things like social media and TikTok, that's actually, people want authenticity. So if you don't want to be that person and you want to make your music, go and make your music and you'll find your people anyway.
For real, though.
Right? Like I got to a point for me personally where like I didn't want to perform in the city no more. Because I've performed at I've opened up for like some major acts. I performed at most big events, most clubs. I've played in front of thousands of people for the Juneteenth thing. Like I like all the boxes I was ticking them off, right? But I was like, the city don't love me the same way I love it back. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like people like come to my shows and come supporting or whatever. That's cool. But like the city itself, like the way I should be right now, all the work I put in, like they don't love me back.
And this hurts, man.
Oh, it hurts.
It's like, because you're pouring everything into your craft.
Yeah, they don't love me back. I had one of my mans who used to work closely with like the music BBC people say, like, yeah, they know me. They support me behind doors, but they say that I don't have the right look, so they don't, or like I look too threatening or some shit. Some bullshit. So like that just my look excluded me from them putting me on events where I can like book like paid.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, well I'm gonna find my own way.
So talking of the support.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the system that is built like that? Or you talking about the people themselves? Because if you talk about the system, I mean the government, you know, like how the system is built. Yeah. Not to support the artists who are coming from Black, you know, origins. Yeah. Or do you think it's just the people? Because if we talk about the people, then it's dangerous because it kind of like reflects racism. Yeah. You know, that's Okay, being honest, like I think it's the system itself, but I also think it's I also think it's the people too. Like keeping 1,000, like up until 2020, Music BC never gave Black artists grants. Wow, they weren't giving it. If people of color were not getting grants at all until that cop put that knee on Jordan Ford's neck. They weren't giving niggas no money. They weren't giving nobody no money, and then all the Black Lives Matter stuff starts, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to give more to the community. Money started coming out. All of a sudden it's like, no, we support Black art, and that lasted a year. Because like the Juneteenth thing is done, right? Yeah. Like the Juneteenth thing is done. Like no, like so there was 3 of those Juneteenth things that summer, right? And I performed and spoke at one. And then I had a booth, and I was doing me and my friend Bandita Silva. She was a tattoo artist. We had a nonprofit for the people, and we were selling shirts at another event, right? And that second event had way less people than the first one.
They did one more at the end of the summer. Nobody came. So the thing is like black art and black things is kind of like theatrical, I think, in the system that we're in. So if there's not an overarching need for it, if you're not in the community, you're not gonna go. And I think that's the issue, is that like there's not a big enough market here for us to actually create the groundswell that we need, right? Like individually, we all know each other and we all hang. You know what I mean? We all go to the same basement parties. We all go to Shiloh Sundays and all that, Saturdays and all that stuff. Like we know each other and like whatever. But like to create a space for black art in the city is very hard because A, we don't have a space of our own in the city for us either. Right? We don't have there's no African community center. Like I said, there's no Caribbean community center. There's none of that stuff. Right? And it's just weird because after all this time, they should have. Hell, Hogan's Alley should have a community center dedicated to black Canadians, but they don't. We don't have any of those things. Right? And then so when you're trying to like create a sound for like your community, and the community is so fractured, and then the people outside the community only want hand selected people out of that community that they can kind of like use as like tokenism, I guess. Right? It's like, oh, we have a black artist, we have this whatever. It comes to like kind of like hard to figure out where you stand. And I think
so true.
And I think the way I've kind of been able to like kind of move around that as I started marketing outside of here. I started marketing.
I think that's more.
I think it helped a lot more. Yeah, I targeted like Toronto. I targeted like Seattle, LA, New York. Like I started marketing out there. Like I started making contacts with people outside of this space, because then it offered me opportunities to get my music into places that like would be more receptive to my stuff
100%.
and would whatever. Like I'll perform. Like I was, then I was like I'll perform at like this thing or whatever, and I'll go show out and I could get some cool footage and stuff. But I also made sure I could get out of my area, so like the people who would appreciate the music I'm making would actually hear it.
Exactly.
Right. And I think it's hard for when you're coming into the game to try and figure out how you're gonna get attention in a city that doesn't really pay attention.
Exactly, but that's kind of why I wanted to ask you too.
Yeah.
The root. Where do you think the root should start? From the people here, since we can't get anything about from like getting a grant or anything.
Yeah.
So the roots should start with like our communities.
Yeah.
Basically, they're gonna make maybe an event to try to just hype up the
events are cool. You know what I want people to this is I'm giving out a diamond right now. You know what I missed when I was growing up was basement parties.
Okay.
Like people would have like house parties, and then Mandem would like have a set thing, and then they go and like come and rock and everybody's having a good time or whatever, and like people are dancing. Like those things where it's like you have the community involved, and then like people see you at that event, and then you do like a circuit of them. Like, oh, I'm gonna do here.
That's very true.
There was a couple cats, Prophet 97. They were doing like the screamo rap thing. Them and like this other dude, like Little God, and they were like doing a circuit of. They were going to like all these different house parties in like Coquitlam and Langley and like
That's
whatever, and they were rocking all these parties. So then every time they would do an actual event, people would come because like, oh, I saw him at that house party. You know what I mean? Because that's easier to get than like renting out a club. Like I'm gonna talk some shit right now, so I'm gonna put on these glasses. So a couple weeks ago, I was promoting this event on my IG for like this contest for best performance at Enzo Club, right? Yeah. The prize was supposed to be $2,000, right? The Mandem who ran this event didn't promote it at all.
Oh no.
They didn't promote it at all. Like, and then on top of that, because I was promoting it, I had other artists that I knew also get in on the contest. So like I was like indirectly responsible for them getting on the same bill. And then 2 hours before the show, this man wants to text us all individually and tell us there is no prize money.
Oh, come on.
There's no prize money. And I already have people coming. So we already have people coming, right? Because I was like, oh, we're going to perform like some of the new songs or whatever. To go there and it's like...
No way, guy. What can they do now?
Like I would say nicely 28 people.
Oh my god!
For Enzo, if you know Enzo, it's big place, man. Big, like it can hold an easy 400 people, dog.
No way.
And you got 20, like you know what I mean?
Oh no way.
And like so my point to that is that like, well, first of all, like trash on promoters like Gwe, garbage youth. But besides that.
Hey man.
Hey, listen. But besides that,
Gotta be real.
But like besides that, you don't need to if you don't have the means to get that many people, don't hold a big ass event in a club.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the middle of I don't want to say it's a recession, or it's like a depression right now. Like everybody's struggling. One of the things I learned most is like especially when I started doing videos, is like you can do a lot with a little bit of money, right? If you can rent out a place and set up a small event that people feel it's exclusive and it's theirs, that will go over a lot better than trying to bring people to a club right now. Because nobody wants to spend $15 on a drink and then $30 to get inside, and then another $40 on drinks, and then try to figure out the Uber home. You know what I mean? If you're like set up an event and then you have like 2 or 3 acts who play at this event, you just make it sound nice. You make sure the sound is good. Make sure you got a proper DJ, and make sure like it's in a place where nobody's gonna come complain, and you're not bringing like wild. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can create a vibe that will help you get a lot. That will help you build up your music career a lot better than trying to do the club circuit, because there really isn't a club circuit out here anymore. Yeah. Right? That's what I'm saying too. There's no more club circuit. Like there used to be, because I remember it was like Fortune. Well, it's Enzo now, but Harbor.
Fortune's still
Fortune's still popping, but not like it used to. Fortune used to have a concert every week.
Whoa, come on now.
Fortune, pre-pandemic, Fortune, there was like a concert. There was like a concert or 2 every week. There was something going on at Fortune every week. Like I've seen half the concerts I've seen out here. I saw them at Fortune, but because of like I don't know how it is now. Like there's not that many, right? So it's like those kind of places, they're good if you get the opportunity. Like if you have an opportunity to open up for a major act, cool. But if you're trying to build yourself up, like So Far is a good example, right? Like So Far Sounds, what they do is they'll have like this is good for like acoustic artists or singers. Mm-hmm. It's like they'll have a space where it's like you come and everybody chills and you play with the mic and you sit and you sing or whatever, and then you just have somebody record it and it's like an intimate setting. Mm-hmm. That footage from that intimate setting with the right marketing behind it can blow you up online.
Is that the Blue Light?
Blue Light Studios is that other place downtown, but you can also do that too. Yeah, also, Palm Street is a good place. Shout out to Palm Street. I love those guys. Palm Street.
So you've been in Palm Street?
Yeah, I did a
shout out Palm Street.
Palm Street. Yeah, shout out them. I did an album release party for an artist I was working with back in 2 years ago. Great space. I love those guys. Those guys are dope. But yeah, that something like that, like you can take the footage from that and then like chop that up and use that, and then create like an intimate setting with that, right? Yeah. There's different smaller venues that you can use that like kind of go along with your sound and your energy, right? Instead of trying to like do the big club events, because that's gonna cost you way more out of pocket, and you have to try and sell tickets, and then if you're the artist, it's like you're not really gonna get paid for those events, and if you sell, you know what I mean, like just cut all the mess, cut all the fuckery, just do it.
Gotta be real, man.
Gotta be real. Like start bring people in to know you. Like the whole point of those intimate events, and those intimate things is for people to know your personality.
Because that's how you make your noise.
That's how you make your noise. Yes. That's to make your noise. That's how people get to know you. That's how people like get endeared to you. Like, I was working with a label in LA like up until like 2 years ago, and the man who ran the thing, he was just like, he bigged me up because he was like, yo, like you're one of the few people that I was working with who does everything an artist is supposed to do outside of music. Because I was like going on my stories and doing my morning motivation and like being interactive and stuff. That's the stuff that people like to see from people, right? They want to see you as a person. They don't want to bomba cut fight.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! This is. I don't find a guest card. No, I'm telling you. He's like, that's what people endear you to as an artist, is how your personality, right? They want to see the real you. They don't want to see no manufactured stuff. One of the things I think is really bad for artists, personally, is if you're trying to be a persona the entire time, and then people catch you outside and you're not that same person, they're gonna call you fake.
Yeah, for real.
They're gonna call you fake. If every track you do with some I'm a killer type bullshit, and I see you in the mall like carrying your girl purse, I'ma say something, dog. I'ma say something.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I know that guy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Whose bird is that? Whose purse is that? Oh, okay.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I mean, be yourself.
You win.
You win. It's like, I want no smoke, big dog. I'm good.
You just gotta be real. You just
gotta be you.
real for you.
Just to finish on the acceptance of black music here, because I think this is very important, that it affects almost every area of life.
Yeah.
You know, we're just talking about music here, but we have people who are doing something else.
Yeah.
And also feeling like it's not really working. The town is kind of like bring us down every time we're trying to rise.
Yes.
So I want to know,
So true.
how do you think, to whatever you've observed, because I feel like you have more experience with this, how do you think we can tackle this down? Like we beat this? Or it's gonna take us 100 years.
Yeah, I mean,
Take us years,
man. So in my experience, because I grew up out here for the most part, I feel like it's always an uphill battle. It's always an uphill battle here being black, because this. I heard somebody describe it to me the other day like this: like the city's trapped in a time capsule. Right, like we're always 10 years behind the world and how everything else is. Right, like when I'll bounce on the weekends at some spots, and every time I go bounce at this one particular spot, all the music that plays from the 2000s. They don't listen to anything current because they're not comfortable with anything new, because like, you know what I mean? Especially with hip hop, they're stuck 10 years behind us, right? And I think the same thing applies for like most people in like business, black owned businesses and black owned things, is that like the way the city is set up, it's like they love us individually, but when we are trying to be something together as a collective, it becomes,
which is more important.
Yeah, which is more respectful, but it becomes scary for them, right? So like, for example, you know, I was talking about the Music BC thing. It's just like they love having 2 or 3 black artists on that roster of people. But if you had more than that, then this becomes an issue, because then they're like, we don't know how to place all these people and put them in all these boxes, right?
Wow.
Right. So I feel the same thing happens here, where it's just like, if you're a black business and you're trying to be something other than black related, they don't know how to deal with that. So say like if I wanted to own say I was like a mechanic, and I owned like a mechanic shop, and I just wanted to be a regular mechanic shop, people would be like weary of that. But if I put like Afrocentric mechanic shop, people are like, oh, look at the novelty thing, and then go and like get their car done by a black person. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's like almost like we're almost on like, we're saying half the time we're fighting for people to see us, and we're also fighting for people to respect us at the same time. Like you want to be seen, but you also want to be seen as more than just the skin that you're in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And it can be hard, man. Like I think like the way around that is community, but like if we had like a collective community, like if we had a collective spot. Like we had a collective area, like a collective spot where it was just us. or like the majority of people who lived in that area was just us, then I think it would be easier for us to build out and kind of create our own like Black Wall Street kind of situation there. But because all the Black people in Vancouver are so separated by geographical things, then it's like we don't, and because of like how it is, like there's people, it's just too much like, there's too much of this happening, so we can't really come together and like build like we should, right? And like, and that's like, that's not our fault, because sometimes you just gotta live where you gotta live, and you gotta get in where you can. You know what I mean? Like it's not cheap to be here. You know what I mean?
It's not cheap, yeah.
It's not cheap to be here. It's not like an easy thing to just like be in Vancouver and then kind of like go about your business, because like between rent, food, gas, and bills, like you know what I mean, that's already your money spent. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think if we, because I've tried this many times, and more people, a lot of people before me have tried this many times, trying to build the community to come together and stuff in a like organic way and it happens for a bit, but to have it stick is really hard. So I think there's got to be like some kind of incentive for us to do that together, right? It doesn't just have to be like a one-off type thing. It's just like, no, we're gonna do this every year to keep us together, to keep the community going, so that we can build out from there and then do that, right? Because if we're trying to do it the way we are now, it's not gonna work. Because of how Vancouver's set up, I don't know if they can. I don't know if the people who run this city or run this province would be able to handle like true Black excellence.
I don't know if you heard about it. There's a page called Black Vancouver.
Yeah.
You heard about it?
Yeah.
You think that was a good idea?
I don't know what happened. They got taken down again?
That's what I heard. They got taken down.
I used to. I don't know who ran that page, but the person who ran that page, like me and them, we talk sometimes. Like we were cool.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, they were cool. They were cool with me. I think it's like a mixed bag for me. So like, there's a wild rumor I heard that like they said the person who ran Black Vancouver wasn't Black, which was just like, I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. I no disrespect. You know what I mean? You two plugged into the culture for me to think you're not Black. But like, I think it kind of gave us a town square. It did. Like there was a lot like near. I guess before they got like taken down again, they're getting a little bit more into the militant side of things and like being like very anti everybody else except like Black people and other like dark like colored people of color like type thing. Yeah. And like I get it. I'm a Malcolm X guy. I wasn't an MLK guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? By any means type shit. But I feel like when you do this is what I'm talking. This is kind of what I'm talking about. When we have our own space that's just for our community, watch how everybody else reacts to just our own shit. Yeah. They get scared and they try to get it taken away and they try to get taken down and they don't want us to have it because they're scared of us being together as a collective, right? And that's the difference, I think, between like Vancouver and like the rest of Canada. I lived in Alberta. Like Edmonton is the biggest Black population in all of Western Canada, and there's more spaces for us over there than there is there. Calgary, there's more spaces for us over there. Toronto's like the mecca of Black people out here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in Montreal, you know what I'm saying? Even Winnipeg's got more Black people than out here. But for here, they're so scared of us being together as a group because there's like this weird fear they have of Black people coming together and outshining them because we already do it. No, like, you know what I mean? We already do it, and it's like the minute, and you know what I mean? And the minute we start like working together and started to build something up for ourselves, all of a sudden, because I've seen this happen, all of a sudden you get hit with these bylaw things, you get hit with these, you get your events get shut down, you can't get liquor like it's no more. You know what I mean? There's noise complaints all the time. All of a sudden you have all these problems that you didn't have before when people start to come out and start to support. It's like, damn. You know what I mean? It's like one or two times, it's like, okay, coincidence. After all this time of living here, bro, it's not a coincidence, it's a plan. They just don't want us to have our own space. And it's like they're so scared of us coming. I don't know if they're scared because they think something bad is gonna happen or they think something good is gonna happen. I don't know which one it is. But it's like we have to do, it's like everything we have to do in this city has to be like kind of underground and in the shadows kind of thing for it to have like a longer lasting effect. This is why I was kind of saying earlier about the house party thing. Because it's like, if you go to the clubs, outside of like a couple clubs, because I met the owners, like most of them don't want black. Like for the longest time, most clubs I remember when I was going out, like they didn't want to have black event nights. They were like, they had this assumption that like there's gonna be like someone's gonna fight or something's gonna happen and stuff. Meanwhile, if you ever been
funny out here, man.
Yeah, right.
Think we're a terrorist, right?
Meanwhile, if you've ever gone down Gravel and seen the Roxy, which has been around for 30 years, someone's getting beat up outside. And all they play is country music. So, like, I don't know where you're getting your information from, fam, but that's not really us. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, there's always been this like weird stigma about black culture here, because they just assume though they take the worst parts of black culture and then they assume that's what all of us are about, right? It's like I was saying with the thing. It's like because of my like, I guess my tattoos or whatever. Like, people know the work I put in here, but those outlets don't want to give me a shot because I look too threatening. But sitting here talking with y'all, like I'm
know the same person with tattoos in town, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sitting here talking to y'all. I'm just funny as hell.
Almost everybody.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's the perception that they have of us. They have a negative perception of black culture already of us. So then when they see black culture start to excel, they have to stomp it out. They have to stop it before it grows. Meanwhile, if you look at every other city that's out that embraces black culture, they're doing fantastic. It's like they're scared of our culture being the prevalent voice of the city, when you kind of need it. They kind of need it at this point. Like nobody I've ever met who's come to Vancouver is like, damn, this place is so dope. I love the culture here.
No.
Never heard that in my life. Never heard that in my life. No one in my lifetime has ever told me, it's like, I love the culture here. Where?
What culture though?
What culture? Like, what do you eat? Ramen noodles? Like, I'm good.
Oh my gosh, man, we can move on from that.
Yeah.
Man. I think people know what you gotta do.
Sure,
I'm hoping
I know. I'm getting
keep...
off of that. Like, listen, whatever it is you're gonna do in this city, if you're an artist or you're a business or whatever, do not be scared to reach out to your community and keep your community tight. Those are the people who are going to be there to help you get where you want to be. Yeah. Don't worry about the outside forces. Don't worry about what the other people who are not gonna get growing to a bigger market. Your niche is your niche, and that niche will help you build up to where you need to be. That's all I gotta say.
Wow, thank you so much for that.
That's for real. And I like the fact that you actually looked into the camera too, to make sure they know. And if you haven't heard anything, GRIZZY's gonna tell you everything, man. So this is where it's at. But now I want to slide it more into now the because obviously a lot of artists come to a point where things start getting a little hard. And you say you mentioned you took 1 year off from music just to polish yourself, which is very important. Yeah. I want to know first of all what happened. Okay. To let you take that time off, because you were doing good. Yeah.
So back in 2021, so I had just like I spent all of 2020 like. Everybody, I know people had like a weird COVID. I had a great COVID. I was getting free money or free money. Like, quotation marks. Free money. Free money. And like, I just used that whole time to make like, I got my album like professionally finished. And I filmed like 6 videos. Wow. And like I went on a rage. I was on doing my like, we started, me and my boy Shoyan, who's also the lightweight champion boxer of BC. Shout out to my guy. Also shout out to Mendoza. If you're trying to box, you're trying to train, Mendoza. Also shout out to my boy Nico, who's my personal coach. My personal coach. Wow. Shout out to all these mandem.
Beautiful, man.
But we started a podcast and we were doing all like I was just doing my media. I was doing my media blitz. I was like really working on it. And then like 2021 happens and I'm like getting ready to roll the album and my aunt passed away.
Oh, that's
And like my aunt was
she living here with you?
Yeah, she lived up the street from me. I lived next to Skinner Projects, so she lived
close. Eh?
Yeah, well, she raised me. She like my mom worked basically like every day. Like like you know what I mean. So like she was like the most important person in my life at the time. So and so it shook me, bro. Like I didn't realize it would shook me, but like the day this is crazy. So the day after she died, I get a call from the label I was working with in LA, told me I got nominated for Best International Artist. Wow. So I didn't know how to feel about that. So I went to LA and I did the thing. I went to the award show and like it was cool. And like I performed out there, and then I was out there for a week, and I came back, and like I graduated. I was going to school for like social work because I wanted, just in case like things weren't working out, whatever backup plan. I dropped my album. I graduated. I got a car. Like I had all these things happen, and I kind of hit this like mental block. Like I could not write anything.
Wow.
I could not. Like I tried so hard, and I just didn't have the same fire. And I don't know if it's because my aunt had passed or because I got those things. Because I also got nominated for the Album of the Year in New York and stuff. And I was just like, I was like, is this because I got everything I wanted? Or is it because I don't know what I want to do now? And so like after that year, I basically spent most of that next year like kind of managing artists. I started working with this singer named Robin. And then she that kind of fell out, and then I started working with another singer, Constant, and then she ended up getting a radio job in Penticton and stuff, and then like some other people here and there, just local things. I was just like kind of trying to do things outside of myself to keep being still in the music game, but like because I couldn't write anything at the time, I was just like I'm just gonna do this, because then this still keeps me involved in music, and then hopefully like working with these people is gonna help me get my spark back to make me music. And it was still really hard. And then I met my boy Matt Wave, and like initially he hit me up and he wanted me to help him, to manage him, to help him get his beats out, because he was just producing at that time. He wasn't really like putting out raps. He still hasn't put out. I think our joint project is the first thing you're actually gonna really hear him outside on, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then like we started working on it, and it got me back into that place where I wanted to start making music again. I think the hardest thing for an artist especially is like when you hit that writer's block, you don't know when it's gonna end. You don't know when it's gonna be end. Cause when it hits, you don't know what to write about anymore. Like for me, like my life had dramatically changed so fast in like a year's time, right? From like feeling like I was always writing about struggle and all stuff to like actually having things, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm not in the same place anymore. Like how do I write about this? What do I say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow. Where am I doing this because I feel like I'm in this space anymore? Or am I just trying to like find the thing that helped me get to where I'm at, and then like continue down that road? And it was a really hard time in my head, because I was like, I don't know how to get past this. And I actually kind of thought, I was like, damn, maybe I'm just done. Wow. I was like, maybe I'm just done.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just done. Maybe I'm just done. Like maybe I just gotta figure out another way to put myself out there, kind of thing.
Man.
And thank God for Matt, man, because he pushed me to challenge myself. And I forgot how much I needed that. That's why I was talking about the good team and stuff. It's like you need someone who's going to challenge you to do more, to not just be okay just settling in the same place. Because if you're like me, I think there's a lot of people out there like me. If you're not comfortable settling, then that feeling of being forced to settle out of circumstance drives you crazy. Because it feels like you're not living up to your potential. Like you're just kind of just like letting, you know what I mean? And then you're just like, damn, like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Like I'm just kind of like letting it sit. I don't want that. Man. So So he pushed me to like change my style and work on a different sound and do different things. And I started rediscovering my love for like music again and doing all that other stuff, right? Because like, you know, like you get to a certain point in the game and you do everything or you've done most things. And like the only things are you haven't done are the big major things, like the Hollywood type joints. And you're kind of like, do I really want to do that, or do am I still chasing that, or where am I comfortable? Excuse me. And one thing I always said is like I don't necessarily want to be like Drake famous. That shit to me is gross. I don't want to be able to like not leave my house. I don't want everybody in my business all the time. I like the money, but I don't know if I want all the other mess attached with that.
Yeah.
Right. But like I just being comfortable is like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this go. I'm gonna focus on making the music that I want to make.
Yes.
I'm gonna make myself happy by doing it,
Yeah.
and then like. However I do it, I'm gonna put it out and just brush my hands of it and just let it go. And then I started having that feeling of like almost like joy again and like getting creative and writing things and challenging myself and getting back to a point where I'm like, oh, I really like this. You know what I mean? And that was something that somebody had put on to me is just like, I think you got away from that point of like loving making music for you and you started making music for other people. And if you're ever in that sport, I think the smartest thing you could do is take a step back and however long it takes and think about why you want to make this song. Why do you want to make that sound? Why do you want people to hear what you're going to say? Is it because you want to get heard, or is it because you want to get something off your chest? You want to make something cool. You want to make something that makes you dance. You want to do it. Don't try and like, because the problem with success, I think, is that people tend to want to chop, once you have a little bit of success, you want to top your success with the next big thing. It's like a good analogy is just like Marvel movies, right? We all love them at a point. Then Endgame happened, and it was like, this is like the top of it. We don't need nothing else.
Nothing else.
And then everything after that movie was kind of garbage. Because they kept trying to do the same thing over and over again. We didn't want it no more. We wanted something different. Right? There's nothing wrong with taking a step back and saying, like, you know what, I'm going to take a break for a little bit. Yep. I'm going to come back, I'm going to drop some dope shit, and now we got X-Men 97. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just make some things that makes you feel good about what you're making, and then everything you're going to make after that is going to come out of that. But chasing success through your art, or trying to be successful through your art purely on the idea of just having success, is never going to bring you what you want.
Man, you look, GRIZZY, look, you even get the guy in the back, all the quotes you got. There's gonna be a lot of quotes out there. You're gonna have to work hard on this because you touched me, and man, I'm pretty sure you're gonna touch a lot of people out there.
I appreciate that.
That time, there's a period of time when I feel like every artist, you go through that point, man. Yeah. Now getting back out of that situation, it's a battle, man. Yeah. It's like you gotta surround yourself with a good team. You gotta know what you want, what makes you happy. So I appreciate you just saying that, man, because it's very important.
It's important,
people are
man.
Going through that. People are going through the and you even answered my question I was gonna ask you, like way before you even say it. I was like, because when people are going through that year gap, what do they do? You know, what do they have to make themselves feel better again, to get back up again and be like, I got this.
It's a lot of, you know what? For me, it was a lot of like, I'm not gonna lie, like 2022 was a
tough one.
It was a rough year. It was a rough year. Like I started I was just doing like regular shit, like going to my job and like paying my shit and like, whatever. Like, but none of it felt fulfilling. Like I didn't feel great. I was just kind of trying to like just do life. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And like that's the thing. It's just like I had this weird realization. Like I was happier before when I was chasing the dream, because I knew I was getting somewhere as long as I was chasing the dream. When I started like trying to set myself up for like stability, which isn't a bad thing. Don't construe my words and say like, don't have stability in your life because you need that. And everybody needs stability in your life. Sure. But like when you start making that like getting comfortable, like you sit in a beanbag chair, you just slouch in it. You just sink into that place. Yeah. Then it's like it's really hard for you to fight your way out of it because you're like, oh well, everything's okay right now. I don't really need to change anything. I don't really need to do anything. But that's when you make the most progress. Most people do not excel in life without challenging themselves, without some kind of struggle to overcome. Because if you sit there and you just let things pass you by, before you know it, you're like in your half your life is gone and you don't know where it went and you can't get that time back. Yep. Right. So like for me in that time, I was distracting myself, but I also did a lot of work on myself. Like I cut out alcohol I haven't drank in almost 2 years. I cut out a lot of unhealthy things in my life. I did a lot of things in my life that I was kind of like working on myself so I could like be cool with me. And then when I was doing that, I also was like, music was starting to come back into my life because it was like, oh, now I don't have these weird blocks anymore. Now I'm not distracting myself with all these things that don't matter. I can actually focus on what I want. And what I want is I want to make some dope shit. I want to make some cool music. I want to do something different. I want to do this. I don't really care about who's it for. Right now it's just for me. And if it's just for me, I can live with that. Because when the album was said and done and everything was done, I literally listened to back to front. I was like, this is probably the best thing I've ever made. And it's because and it's like only because I took that break and didn't rush anything. Yes, sir. Because I didn't rush nothing and I like let it breathe and I let myself breathe. I was like, damn, this is probably the best thing I've made. Period. And you know what I mean? That little bit of break, that little bit of like time for yourself will do wonders for your mental.
Wow. I think I'm learning a lot today.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I have let's move on a bit on the business again.
Yes, sir.
You know, because there's nothing we can do in music. They say it's good to have a talent.
Yes.
But it's really good to understand how to use that talent, you know, so that it can bring you resources like money and everything, you know, getting to meet people and stuff like that.
Yes.
Talking of the team, I see you emphasize mostly on team, you know, having a team and stuff like that. Can you try to describe who should be in the team? Because some people pick up their sister, some others, I need my cousin to help me taking pictures. Can you describe to us who should really be in a team?
Okay.
And then what is their role? You know, so we don't get useless people in the team. I know nobody's useless, but again, if they're not doing anything,
they're not producing.
They're not producing anything. They shouldn't be in your team.
Well, first of all, if you have I want to make something clear. If you have the luxury of having people around you who are also like-minded, that is a massive benefit. You're already way ahead of the game. But if you don't have that, learn. I bought a whole subscription to like Skillshare. Skillshare, shouts to Skillshare. You're not paying me yet, but you will. I got a whole. I think I started learning like video editing stuff. Just recently, I started learning video editing stuff.
Oh,
I started learning
everything now.
Yeah, I started learning video editing stuff. I started learning how to create content funnels and sales funnels. I started learning like all these different things because my skill outside of music is like I'm very good at marketing and I know how to engage with an audience and I know how to bring people in and to network very well. Right? That's my skill. Matt, for example, he's very good. He's our producer, but he's also very good at this bumbleclot fly, man. He wants my time, eh? He's good. He's very good at producing, but he's also very good at like his engineering and sound design and like knowing like what should go where and like how to be very on the technical aspect of it. My boy Max, fantastic photographer. Wow. So he does all the photos and all the videos and stuff. And for like online stuff, like I do a lot of the online stuff. So like, and if I don't know certain things, I'll outsource and ask somebody I know for whatever. Don't be scared to ask people for help when you don't know certain things.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that goes back to like the whole pride thing. It's like a lot of people are scared to have those conversations with people because they're they don't want to look like they don't know certain things, right? But like if you know like this, that, whatever, like you can get if you don't know something, you can ask somebody for a little bit of advice or like what you should do in a situation, right? And just learning that little bit extra and reaching out can be very helpful in those situations. Building a team is like also having somebody who knows how to like the right connections and like knows how to network with people and like can get you in the doors or certain things. For sure. Like, also don't be afraid to just walk up because a team to me at the end of the day is like it's a group of like-minded, like it doesn't really matter who is on your team. It can be your brother, your sister, your best friend, whatever. They just have to see the vision that you have. Right? Really, and really 9 times out of 10, the person who's going to see your vision isn't somebody who's going to see you every day. Right? Like, I remember when I started, like, for example, performing, like, I could get barely anybody I knew to come to my events. I'd have to, like, go and, like hit up people on Facebook. Really? Or like, yeah, because it's like, hey, you see me every day. You know what I mean? If I see you every day and like, oh, come to my show, like they'll come to my show, but like, I don't really expect them to go, you know what I mean? Because they see me all the time, right? It's like, oh, when things start doing well, it's like all of a sudden the man number is pulling up like all the time, right? But it's just like, in the beginning, I didn't really expect a lot of people to show, right? Because it's like, I also know how people are. People, especially on this coast, they're super fickle. Right? So it's like, if you're saying like, oh, come to my event and, you know, the event has like 16 people on it, good, and they don't know any of those people, they're probably not going to show, just probably going to show for you and then leave, right? But like, if you build enough like energy around what you're trying to do and then people want to come anyway, they'll show up anyway. It's the marketing of it that kind of brings people in for those kind of things, right? And same thing with the business, right? Like if you say you have an online store and you're trying to build out your online store, then you reach out to other people in that online market, right? And then you get all those people, and then that would be easier to have like friends and family promote you, right? Because then they don't have to do too much. Right? Anybody can be on your team. They just have to be willing to participate. Yeah, exactly. Right? They have to be willing to participate and willing to like help you out, and people are more willing to help it out if it's not going to cost them much. Right? Like having a solid group of people, having like-minded people to help you build, or like partners, they have to be on the same page as you. Wow. If they're not on the same page as you, then don't hire them. Because they're not gonna produce what you need them to produce, right? They're not gonna make what you need them to make. Yeah. They'll be down for a little bit, but then like, you know, one day they might not want to do it anymore, and then you're relying on somebody you're gonna be stuck relying on somebody doesn't really want to be there, and then you have to replace them, and then that's because the whole thing. That's why like I think a lot of small businesses don't really work after the first year, because you hire people who have no interest in the business doing well. They just want to help you out.
Oh yeah, they gotta be all in.
Yeah, they gotta be all in on what you see, right? Yeah. So like your team.
Very true.
Your team just has to be the right people who see what you see. They don't have to have every skill set down, but they have to be willing to learn to make the whole dream work. Right? So like I said, it was a Skillshare thing. It's like I learned these things so I could have like a side business for like my side business to be like, oh, okay, cool. I know what that is. But if I don't know how to do something, I can refer to my friend and be like, hey, how do you do this? He might not be on my official team, but he's willing to help me because he sees the vision.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And then how would you advise those artists to think like, okay, having a team is good, but maybe they don't know how to pay these people. You know, is there any standard like a thing that can help them to know? Okay, this is how you pay a manager. This is how you pay an agent. This is how you pay a lawyer, and things like that. Or you just move on.
So like, I think so. When you're in the beginning stages of your career, you don't need a manager.
You don't need a manager.
No,
okay?
in the beginning stage of your career, you should be learning how to do all booking yourself and getting yourself out there yourself. Because if you have a manager and that's money you're gonna have to be throwing as another person to do stuff you should already know how to do on your own. Because when they're gone, how are you gonna do it by yourself? Because most manager like artist relationships don't work out, and that's like the manager's taking you to like the Grammys or something. If they're not doing that, then like you don't really need a manager in the beginning. You don't. You should be learning how to talk to people and network on your own. So that way people know you, and then when you have a management, you look a little bit more professional because you're stepping up, you're leveling up the game, right? Yeah. There's no standard because like depends on like what the quality of manager you have can do for you, right? Like if you have a local manager and he can like get you into like some of the bigger venues and stuff or whatever, and like he has connects for that, okay, like couple like you can work that out, a couple $100 a month or whatever. But even a manager who's like could get you like flights and like whatever and like all over the country, all over North America, that would cost a little more, right? It depends on what they're able to do for you at that point. I think for videos, music videos are like a tricky thing because I'm going through this thing right now actually, where like we had planned like 4 videos for the album, and I was kind of like, I don't want to shoot 4 videos. You don't have to do that. Short form content is what's ruling the internet right now.
True.
Yeah. You can take a camera, like one of these cameras, find a good location, just have some decent lighting, shoot a bunch of clips in a couple different spots, and then run that online, and that costs you way less than shooting a video. Because most music videos, like a good music video, will cost you anywhere between $12 to $1,500 to like $2,000. If you don't have that kind of money, don't do that. Don't, because then you're gonna be in debt. You're gonna have to be piecemealing off and pay somebody back. Like you don't do
regret it after.
Yeah, you don't regret it because it's like it might.
Because then the music video is not gonna go anywhere. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like all that extra money you could have used. You could have used it on marketing for the video.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? And then it's like, so then when the video only gets like 400 views, you spent $2,000, you're going to be mad as hell. Right? Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, don't break your bank when you're, you know what I mean? Don't do that. Like if you can afford to create short form, create like engaging content that will promote your music better than shooting 100%. One music video.
That's actually very true because it actually works a lot too. The short content videos, like it's really,
it really works.
It really videos, pops out. Yeah, because we're talking about music.
Yeah,
so we are promoting music. It's not videos, right?
Yeah,
video is also another promotion only.
Yeah, exactly. It's a music video
cost you a lot.
Exactly.
What's the point?
Yeah. A music video is a promotional tool for your music.
Yes,
but it shouldn't be. If it's gonna call, like, unless you like know the song is gonna hit, like you know in your bones it's gonna hit, then spend the money on it. But if you can't afford it, don't do it. Find another way around it, right? Work within the budget you can strive for yourself. And like same thing with like same thing with like promotional tools. Like you find somebody with like a good reputation to promote your music, to put it out there. Not just like, you know, the minute you start making music, you get 100 people in your inbox trying to be like, you want Spotify promotions? I got Spotify promotion for $10-15. Like, don't do that shit. Those are bots. Like, you find people who will like those are bots. You know what I mean? Those are bots. Don't do that. Like, find yourself like a good. Like not a firm, but like somebody who's got like a reputation, or they have some kind of like, you know, they're a reputable source to help build out your stuff out. Yeah, to run up that stuff, right? Like,
but how do you get that person though? Because it's kind of scary right now. Right?
It's scary right now, but you just gotta look. You gotta ask around. Like there's times where people hit me in my inbox and I look on there who's like in my DMs and stuff, and I look who's following them. And if I see somebody I know following them, I'll DM them. I'll DM that person. I'm like, yo, do you know this person? Are they good at their thing? Because I need to know where am I putting my money at, right? Because if I'm like thinking about what they could do for me, I need to know if they're good. Like I had one man. Recently, some LA cat hit me up. Some LA cat hit me up, and he was like, "Oh, I work with like like Rich the Kid and Little Baby and all these motherfuckers that I can get you this and that. He's like video calling me, and I'm kind of like the minute I look at his IG page, I'm like, the last post you posted was from 2022, fam. Like this ain't. I get it. You rented a space. And you know the person who runs this thing. You're trying to run a scam. That's cool for you, dog. But I don't like. You know what I mean? I can read. There's a difference. You know what I mean? Like I can see. I see you with my eyes. Like, you know what I mean? You just gotta double check your sources and make sure you're putting your money in the right place. Yeah. Right. Like being an artist in the beginning seems like it'd be a very expensive thing, right? And that just also goes with like studio time too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If you know how to produce and do electronics and like set up your own mic and stuff, build your own studio. Build a small space in your place and create you can even get that circular mic or the booth thing and just record it in your house and record and demo your house and then pay somebody to mix and master it, which will call or to master it and like. Or mix it if you don't want to mix, but like most likely, like to pay someone to master it will cost you way less. Yeah, way less. Like things. These are all things I wish I had known when I started making music. Oh yeah. Because I started making music, I was like, initially I was recording off like a $50 mic in my mom's basement with no proper sound equipment and trying to mix everything on like Mixcraft on a Windows on Mixcraft. You know what I mean? Man, it was like a long time ago. And then when I started recording at studios, and I was like paying all this money and stuff or whatever. And then like with this stuff, we recorded most of the tracks at homie's crib, and then we just got and either he mixed it or we got a proper person to mix and master our stuff. The guy who mixed and mastered this whole album worked on like The Weeknd and Dua Lipa stuff. So that was his teacher. So we had a link. So I was like, oh, okay. And he didn't, for mix and master, he got us a homie price for like $50 a mix. Between two people, it's $25 each. You know what I mean? Really? Like, yeah. So it's like, listen. So it's like, instead of like throwing out all this money and get the whole thing and trying to make it all like polished, just figure out how you can get it down. Like you can do more with less, especially with music. Music does not have to cost $200,000. If you're not at that level, then don't think you have to spend all that much. You can find a way to do it that's gonna save you money and save you time, and also get your music out there and get you heard and get you seen. And then the other thing too, and this is something people don't do a lot of, is do press. Do things like this. Do a podcast. You know, like do interviews. Get like a couple write-ups on you and stuff. Like, you know, people. Yeah. So people like you have like an online presence. So like the minute like if you Google my name, you'll see GRIZZY WYNTER. There's like a bunch of shit there, right? Because I did all these like. I did press and podcasts, and I did all these I got write-ups and stuff because it's like you're building a presence, so people will like hear your music and they're like, oh, I wonder what go on with this guy, and they see you and it's like, oh, he's you know what I mean? Like you build yourself out so people can recognize who you are, right? And all of that doesn't cost too much, right? You just have to be willing to to make sure you look at it first, because a lot of people we're living what's it called? Instant gratification society. So most people want everything done right away. This is, like I said, I'm almost 10 years in the game, and not only now do I feel like I've made the best project I've ever made. Wow. So like it's not a fast thing. It's not a fast thing, and if you think it's like an overnight celebrity success type of thing, it's not. You're in for a wrong thing. It's a wrong thing. You gotta know that like it's what you want. It's what you want, and you also have to realize that like music isn't just the only avenue you're gonna have. If you have a bright, big personality and you like love people and you just like being in your own thing, like there's so many more doors that open up for you with music, outside of music, but from being a musician, right? Like it's not just music that you're selling people on. You're selling people on you, and that's the thing people want to invest in.
I like how you said it too, because you mentioned music is like you're in a relationship, you know, with somebody. Yeah. So that's how you can treat music and you. Yeah. Because if you invest something into it because you want it to be great later on, you're building up slowly. you take time process to make sure you perfect it as much as you can. Right?
Exactly. Like it's like any music is like I think I said it earlier before the podcast. It's like music is like a relationship. Like if you want a quick one night stand, you can just like go hop in a booth, make like a quick like 1-2 verse and be done with it. Right? But if you actually want this thing to last and you want to you want to build a family with this whatever, you have to put the time in, you have to put the work in, and you have to realize that like it's not going to happen right away.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
You have to be patient. Like, listen, thank God for music because it taught me patience. I was writing like raps at 16 in like high school before I ever put a song. I didn't put out a song until I was like 23.
Wow.
And I had recorded songs since I was like 19 that I had not put out because I was so self-conscious about the joint. But the thing is like I loved doing the action of writing songs and making music. I wish I had like Superman eyes. I just zapped that fly. Just burn that.
It's a Canadian fly. I told you.
It's a Canadian fly. She's trying to pay rent. She's trying to pay rent. Man. Trying to pay rent. No, but I spent so much time trying to do doing that, and it's like if you talked to me when I was like 16 and told me like how many years later that I was going to still be like love making music, I would have called you crazy. But because I understood the game, it's not just an easy thing. So like take the time to take the time to like perfect your craft and like really fall in love with what it is you're gonna do.
Exactly.
And be willing to keep your doors open, man. Like a lot of people get frustrated with not seeing success right away and like not having certain things and not being the guy or girl or whatever, not being. It's like just you have to be comfortable with you. Get comfortable with you. Get comfortable with the growth that you're gonna get from like trying to it from like achieving and failing, right? Like, you know, like how many times like how many times have you like made something you thought it was gonna be a slapper, it was gonna be a hit, and like nobody liked it. Oh boy, nobody liked it. And you're like, oh no, and you're like, you know, it feels bad, but then when you get past that feeling, you're like, okay, let me try it again, and then when that one hits, you're like, oh, okay, I see what the difference is, right?
You do learn a lot.
You learn a lot. Like music, I think, is one of those things that, like, I don't think humans would be able to evolve to the place where we have if we didn't have it, because it evokes so much emotion and it also teaches us so much in the time we have it, right? Oh, yes. So,
man, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We definitely, but it doesn't matter because look, when you came out here, man, our plan is to hit the show in the right time, that we always cut it out. But man, oh man, the things that you're saying is very, very educational, because on this show we want to be leaders, man.
Yeah,
that's the whole goal part of it. We want to influence as much as people we can.
Yeah.
And your message today definitely, give a lot of people out there on all over the world, man. Somebody will come across this video, they're running through some stuff in their life, they're gonna watch this, take advice from you, and if they just say, Major, I don't know if you have any questions to come up. There's a lot of questions. We might have to bring you back here on part 2 or something.
Let's go. I'm around. You know what I mean? I'm around.
You got to hop in here, yeah.
I only have 2 questions. That's my final one.
Yeah. All right, go.
I'll ask all of them, then you answer, right? The first one is, how do you think somebody can get into, because we sometimes think like becoming a successful artist, your song gotta be on radio. And now we spoke about all the things that the divisions of the color of the skin in Vancouver here. How would you think somebody would do to be able to be played on radio here? Is it like for the black artists? Is it kind of like impossible? Or maybe one day we can just walk up and then they're playing our music on radio, because we do music, right?
So the radio, I don't think the radio thing's a black thing. I just think they don't support local here. There's 2 people I know personally. That's my homies Westy and Brent Barton. They are the only people I know I've known personally who've ever got their songs played on the radio here. Like personally. And that's in the last couple of years, but they just don't play local artists on the radio here. Even it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, super alien. Like there's a weird thing with how the stations are run here. That's like the mainstream stations, like we're talking about like the Beat, or not the Beat, or like Virgin and like all those like Zed and what. They don't play local artists. They only play you locally as if you blew up in LA or blew up in another place. That's tough. Like who's that one dude? BB No Money. Like I didn't know who this guy was from Vancouver for whatever, but he went to LA and he blew up, and then they started playing all of his stuff on the radio. Same thing with like the Rascals back in the day. The Rascals blew up in Toronto, and then they started playing like Crazy World on the radio when I was was a youth. So like it's not so much about like the color or whatever. It's just the
they don't play local.
Yeah, like the status, the idea needs to change here, or the mainstream idea of supporting local artists or supporting local sound needs to change, because they're missing out on actually building a sound here, right? And if you think, and it's for most artists like trying to come up here, if you're trying to get that radio play, no, bro, nobody listens to radio no more anyway. You know, like that's not.
On Spotify.
Yeah, I mean, like nobody.
Apple Music.
You know what I mean? Like you can build your own situation. You can build your own following online that more people will pay attention to than listening to the radio. Right? Like the radio was just like the radio back in the day used to mean so much more for so many people, because it was like one of the only outlets that used to be have, right? It was either radio or music videos or like concerts. Yeah. That was the only three ways you could get heard. That's completely different now. Don't worry about radio play. Just build a niche and a people who can like hear you anywhere. So like use TikTok, use get on like Instagram. Like another one would be like they have the college radio station is a better spot than that. Like the UBC one is a better spot. Shout out to DJ Denise, URP. Like they still have a good, decent followers. Yeah, you can get your if you really want to get to play the radio. There's like look into something called DJ pools. DJ pools are like places where they play your songs in rotations and different radio markets. So you could get your song into a DJ pool in like Toronto, for example, and then your song gets played in the radio in Toronto. Or you could get your song in a DJ pool in like Seattle or Atlanta or Jersey or something. Just something where like you find somebody who like deals with your sound and like ask them if there's a DJ pool you can get into, and then they'll put your stuff in rotation over there. You can get on the radio. You don't necessarily have to be on the radio here. There's so many more avenues. If that's what you want, there's other avenues you can get into without having to do that here.
And then maybe they're gonna play you here.
Yeah, like I did that. I did it a couple years ago for a song I had. I got it on The Breakfast Club like 2 years ago. I mean, I had to wake up at like 4 a.m. to try and listen to it for like a month. Oh my God. I was like, every morning I was just like sitting there waiting. I'm like waiting for my sound to play, waiting for the sound to play. When it finally played, I was already half asleep. So get a better situation than what I had with that. You know what I mean? But there's other places. Do not have a limiting belief that you need to blow up in your own city first.
Yeah.
Your success is not.
That's so true. Depend
on where you live. The success you have depends on you and you alone.
Damn. Wow. See, you just teach me something right there, because I need to learn that. Because I always feel like, I gotta, come up here first. And then we'll focus about the rest out there. But
that's an old way of thinking. That's an old way of thinking. And that's an old head way of thinking. It's like you gotta blow up in your city first for you to be really the man. Like, okay, cool, thanks, Barney. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we have the internet now. We have social media. Like, you don't have to. There's so many more people who have such a more bigger following and fan base off social media outside of where they live.
Man, wow. My last one.
Yes. Come on, man. Let's go.
No, this one is funny. I know so many people ask themselves this question.
Right.
What do Jamaicans mean when they say bombo clad?
Come on, man.
And another one, Babylon.
Okay, so
I want to know about these two things.
Okay, so easy. Babylon or the police? Babylon is the government. Babylon is any oppressive force. Any oppressive government force at all. So that could be
the best people, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So it has nothing to do with Babylon in
No,
Asia.
no. Babylon is like Babylon. It comes the root word comes from that. It comes from that thing. But Babylon and us for us is like any oppressive government or like a law enforcement force. And bomboclat is it's just the F word for everything.
Okay.
So it's just a different way of saying bomba and blood clot. All those things are just I'm just trying to say the F word. Okay. I'm saying the F word. It just sounds better because it got some sauce on it. You know what I mean? Wow. And there's different tones. You gotta say it with different tones. Like bomba clots. Bomba clot. You know what I mean? Like the tone sits for itself.
The tone means something.
Yeah, the tone means something. You know what I mean?
If you're arguing or if you're having a good time, laughing.
Go like bomba.
Yeah. If I'm arguing and I say it, it's like yeah, exactly. It's like it's the same meaning, just as different tones. Yeah. That's it.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, now we learned something new here. Another thing to learn. Hey, listen, man. Yo, look, GRIZZY, man, we appreciate you so much for being out here. But I want to know where your music are, where to find you, because, you know what I'm saying? It's the first time meeting you out here, and your energy is absolutely incredible, man. So I'm pretty sure everybody right there is wondering, where can I find this guy? Wait, where can I find all this track this guy is dropping? He's been dropping for all these years. So hit him up.
All right. Hi, guys. How you doing today? So if you want to find me, you can find all my music is on all the streaming platforms. So you can find me on Apple, Spotify. You can find me on Napster. You can find me on Google. You can find me on Amazon. You can find me anywhere. Also, I have a new joint project coming out called DMGDZ. That's short for Damaged Goods. It's a joint project between me and my boy Wave. Like I was saying, it's a mix of UK drill, dancehall, reggaeton, EDM. It's fire. Bomba clots. So look out for that. That's coming soon. Also, I got a GoFundMe going on right now because we got selected to do a 5-country Europe tour in May. So I just need do a little fundraiser thing. If you need that, follow me on IG and go donate there. My IG is GRIZZY WYNTER. It's just GRIZZY WYNTER. If the group's IG is DMGDZ Music, follow that one as well. Also follow my YouTube. Oh, shout out to YouTube! Follow my YouTube channel. It's GRIZZY WYNTER. Yeah. Also, side note: if you're trying to grow your page and your YouTube page, dude, memes. Just do shorts and memes. In 1 year, I'm almost at like my thing rose like 300,000 points. 300,000, I don't have 300,000 followers. I'm like, but my engagement rose to 300,000%. Like it's crazy.
YouTube channel?
Just YouTube channel, just from shorts. So follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. I got dank memes and good videos. And if you want to find me on TikTok, my TikTok name is GRIZZY Bin Laden.
GRIZZY Bin Laden.
Cause I be bombing people with them jokes. So follow me on TikTok there. I'm also gonna be making another
one of a kind, man.
Yeah. Also, if you want to find me, I'm gonna make another one separately for the music, and that's DMGDZ Music. That's gonna be on the other TikTok as well. Yeah. And yeah, if you looking to hit me up, or you're looking for any business things, check out my business page, coldestwinter.com. That's where I'm doing. If you need any video or marketing things done, I also do that on the side. So hit me up for that as well. It's Coldest Winter, COLDESTWYNTER.com. Hit me up on there for any business things you might need, videos and all that stuff. And besides that, man, I will see you all soon. Also, if that's your girlfriend watching, hey.
You know who this is? GRIZZY, man. You don't play no game.
GRIZZY in the house.
GRIZZY in the house, man. If you didn't learn anything today, go ahead, restart the video from the beginning again and rewatch it, because I learned so many things today, man. I didn't even know. You know,
that was
so
really
thanks to
like
Grizzy for that.
a college, degree that we just
100%.
got promoted to.
I'm graduating after this.
You know, when I was studying in college here at Langara, there was a guy who came when we were doing music business. He just came to take that class for music business.
Wow.
And I'm just watching that happening in my eyes right now. Somebody spent almost 4 months just to take that. Just get to understand what's a manager, how do I take my songs to the radio, what's going on with the music industry here. But, GRIZZY is just breaking that up in a few minutes.
Listen, I just learned from doing, bro. Like you can you can go to college and get all the technical skills you want. That's cool, but you're gonna learn everything from trial and error.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's the truth.
don't be scared to fail.
No.
Also, don't be scared to win either. That's a bigger one.
That's what we gotta aim for.
That's a big one.
And that's exactly what we do here, man. We just try to make sure we bring everybody who's gonna educate and give us a little something that we can make ourselves better. We always have to aim to be better. And that's why we have a goal here in Afro Diaz podcast. But other than that, man, you heard it, man. Follow him. If you want something else to change about yourself or to even work with GRIZZY, man, you can hit him up on Instagram. He gave everything up there later. There's a lot of stuff to follow. So make sure y'all pay attention and follow exactly the way it is.
Yes, sir.
The guy in the back right there, he will make sure he guides you very properly on this video, on this episode. The guy in the back, he can't show himself, but you already know he's here.
Shout out to the man in the back.
Shout out to the guy in the back.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yo, man, it's been a great time. It's been a great time with GRIZZY, man. We appreciate you for coming out here,
Thank you,
GRIZZY,
man.
once again.
Appreciate
One
you.
love. We got a lot of love for you,
really
man.
good.
Absolutely,
you
gave us
y'all.
a hell of a show, man. We
Thank
appreciate
y'all.
you so much. Major on my right side over here, man. You gonna sign us out or what's up? Do you want me to?
No, you will sign.
I'll sign out.
But again, if you want GRIZZY back here, just put a comment.
Yo, put
Let
the
us
comments,
know.
yo.
Yeah, let us know if you want him
put
back.
the comments, yo. Like I'm a lot of fun, Like I didn't mean it about the girlfriend thing, but still. But still, like, come through.
For that.
Don't come at me for that. But still, hey.
That's
the beauty of the show. That's why we have the show here.
You know what it is, man. It's Afro Diaz podcast. Thank you for tuning in for today. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow my guy, GRIZZY. Subscribe to Afro Diaz, man. A lot of more content will be coming up soon. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.